Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gamansing. The AgriFest is one of the largest events in the territory, and not only does the event serve as a social gathering, but also the event showcases the might of the agriculture industry in the territory, as well as the food and culture of the VI. Well-deserved farmers received accolades, and a longtime cultural bearer was honored. Stephanie Brown has more.
The 2017 AgriFest was named in honor of cultural bearer and storyteller Janice Tutine, also known as Auntie Janice. Executive Vice President of the Agriculture and Food Fair Board, Kofi Botang, spoke at the AgriFest opening ceremony about Miss Tutine's dedication to the Virgin Islands.
Now, this lady has been actively involved in the preservation of Virgin Island culture for about 40 years.
Governor Kenneth E. Mapp presented Miss Tutine with a handcrafted wooden award, and the 2017 crop farmer Reuben Liebert accepted his award as well.
Trophy to you. My Lieutenant Governor is going to present the important stuff to you.
We'd like to say again to the Board of Directors, thanks very much for bestowing this honor upon me.
In great anticipation from the crowd, the 2017 Livestock Farmer of the Year was introduced by the AgriFest committee.
The 2017 Agriculture and Food Fair Board is proud to award the 2017 Livestock Farmer of the Year to Mr. Bernal Ezekiel Herbert.
Let me say it with great joy and enthusiasm that I stand here this afternoon to receive the most prestigious award ever, being the #1 Farmer of the Year.
Around the fairgrounds, a number of activities, displays of culture, and agricultural products were presented to the public. Arthur Joseph, Special Events Coordinator with the Virgin Islands Police Department, spoke about the measures taken to keep fairgoers safe.
Basically put on Road of Traffic Plan, the 46th Annual Agricultural Food Fest Traffic Plan, which helps control all the flow of traffic in and around the agricultural fairground. As you see, I have a vehicle here that was loaned to us by the Virgin Islands Port Authority to make sure we continue to traverse the grounds, make sure everyone is safe basically, and we have officers patrolling as well.
Contrastly, as citizens of the Virgin Islands enjoy the last day of AgriFest on this President's Day holiday weekend, many were concerned on the economic state of the Virgin Islands. One fairgoer had an interesting perspective.
A lot of us, we're in this whole mindset of get a high school diploma, go to college, try and maintain a job in the government for 50, 60 years, retire, and then you sit down and collect a pension. I feel like we should be more independent minded and more driven to take our own paths and make revenues for ourselves.
So as the territory looks for new revenue to maintain itself, the AgriFest board has exclaimed that the agriculture industry should be the territory's future. Stephanie Brown, News 2.
Now, this year's AgriFest featured several nostalgic articles and photographs in its booklet. Carlos Robles, the Commissioner of Agriculture, stated that these articles were reprinted to commemorate the historical transfer centennial. Well, Reuben Liebert is the 2017 Crop Farmer of the Year. Mr. Liebert received strong support from his customers and his constituents for his efforts to push for food sustainability and security in the territory.
This year's Farmer of the Year is resilient, creative, determined, consistent, and productive.
The call already been said. I'd just like to say, on behalf of my wife and myself, thank very much to the Board of Directors who have appointed or selected me in particular to be Farmer of the Year. I'd also like to thank the many folks who patronize us, calls at sometimes 10 o'clock at night. Do you have this? Do you have that? Okay, we'll get it by weekend and so forth. It keeps you going, helping to know that to put food on so many people.
And Vernell Ezekiel Herbert was raised amongst livestock farmers in St. Kitts. However, it was stated that he never had a passion to become a farmer himself when he was a young man. But after several other occupations as well as residencies, Mr. Herbert made St. Croix his home. Herbert first tried crop farming, but he did not do very well at producing, so he went back to what he knew as a child and found that he was very good at raising livestock. Here's more.
And since I'm here, I want to thank the people of the Agriculture Department who've been so helpful to me throughout the years. The people who came and plowed the land, who put the bales on the truck when I get here. And I want to say to each and every one of them here, hard-working people of the Agriculture Department, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Congrats to all the Farmers of the Year. Now, under the Big Purple Tent, Innovative participated with the 2017 AgriFest theme, Our Heritage and Hope for the Future. The company collaborated with cultural bearer Mariah Styles, also known as Sister Aria, to bring culture to fairgoers with a number of family and youth activities that included crafting calabash bowls, learning to make jewelry with beads and seeds, as well as learning to weave baskets. Participants of the cultural activities were able to take home the items they crafted as keepsakes. Well, thinking about clearing land on your property, are you aware of the rules? It's not just for farmers. Agriculture Commissioner Carlos Robles says you should check in with the Department of Agriculture to register both public and private properties. Here's why. Thinking about clearing land on your property, Agriculture Commissioner Carlos Robles says you will need to check in with their office to register what the intentions are. This is especially important for the agriculture community.
With land clearing, road construction, or anything of the use of heavy equipment.
Private land is not mandatory, but beneficial for the department to know.
Public lands or private lands come under the earth change permit regulations of the Department of Planning and Natural Resources. However, farmers do have an exemption from paying the permit fees. However, they still have to go through the process of applying for a change permit, registering their intentions with the Department of Agriculture, especially if you're on public land.
He says it impacts St. Thomas more than St. Croix because of St. Croix's flatlands.
On leased agricultural land, or if you have written permission to be on agricultural land, if you're going to do any land clearing, we ask you to first check in with the department, with the commissioner's office, then register with the Department of Planning and Natural Resources so that they are aware and we have a paper trail that the activity that you plan to do on your property or on the government's property is legitimate and above board. It also helps to ensure that whatever is going to happen, whatever practice is going to happen, whether it's tree clearing, road building, terrace building, is done in an environmentally friendly way so that we could minimize the loss of soil into the gutters and out into the ocean where we won't have access to it.
The goal is to minimize negative effects on our environment as safely, security, and environmentally friendly process as possible.
Unfortunately, we had 2 incidents recently where individuals took it upon themselves to cut farmland without permission or the knowledge or the authorization of the Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture and the Department of Planning and Natural Resources, and both of which actions could result in punitive actions. We want our lands developed, we want them developed appropriately so that the people of the Virgin Islands can benefit from the fruits of the labor and the businesses that our farmers are entering into.
In crime reports on February 20th, the 911 emergency call center reported at 4 a.m. that a vehicle had overturned by Plaza Extra East Shopping Center. Here's VIPD with more.
The vehicle was traveling from west to east at a high rate of speed, lost control and collided into a light pole in the parking lot of the Plaza Extra Shopping Center. Mr. Leah Fox, 19 years old, of the Walter I. M. Hodge Pavilion in Frederickstead, the driver, died on the scene. The family member was notified of the death. The passenger, Krista Rice, age 19, was taken to the Wong Louis Hospital for her injuries. The passenger, Miss Rice, of 2 Williams in Frederickstead, also was involved in another accident by Plaza Extra West in early December 2016, before this incident, according to police records.
On this President's Day, the Commander-in-Chief is celebrating exactly 1 month in office. And what a month it's been. The White House insists everything is going smoothly at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But others see a chaotic start to this administration. Karen Kaifa joins us from Washington with the latest.
President Trump taking his message directly to the people over the holiday weekend. But he ended up on the defense, clarifying what he meant when he said this.
You look at what's happening last night in Sweden. They took in large numbers. They're having problems like they never thought possible.
His comments sparking confusion and leaving Swedish officials scratching their heads. Trump clarifying on Twitter that he was referring to a Fox News report.
By the way, Sweden had its first terrorist Islamic attack not that long ago.
And then doubling down on his attacks against the media.
They don't get it.
The Swedish foreign minister called the allegations inaccurate, but the flap is just the latest in a series of mixed messages on foreign policy. Trump at times publicly contradicting those in his inner circle. Defense Secretary James Mattis is breaking ranks with President Trump on the issue of Iraq's oil.
So we should have kept the oil, but okay. Maybe you'll have another chance.
Mattis sending a starkly different message.
We're not in Iraq to seize anybody's oil.
And after Trump's support of Great Britain exiting the European Union and past rhetoric on NATO, Vice President Pence wrapping up a trip to Europe with words intended to reassure Western allies.
It is my privilege here at the NATO headquarters to express the strong support of President Trump and the United States of America for NATO and our transatlantic alliance.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
The economy, the jackpot keeps growing for the Powerball lottery. No one won Saturday's multi-state drawing, so the top prize for Wednesday night's Powerball is $403 million. Whoever wins that jackpot can choose to take their winnings either in a lump sum cash payment or in an annuity paid out over 29 years. The lump sum payment after taxes is nearly $244 million. Powerball is played in 44 states, Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, and right here at home in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Let's take a look at the New York Stock Exchange with the stock market watch. Everything up, the Dow 4, NASDAQ 23, S&P 500 up at 3. Coming up on News 2, construction of the Red Hook parking garage is set to begin this week. That message comes from the Port Authority's Acting Executive Director, David Mapp. What that means for residents. Welcome back. Construction of the Red Hook parking garage is set to begin this week, and that announcement came from Virgin Islands Port Authority Acting Executive Director David Mapp. VIPA announced that the project would begin several weeks ago, but shipping delays held up the delivery of the pile driving equipment. The equipment has arrived, and the contractor will begin driving piles to construct the frame of a 2-level parking garage adjacent to the Ermin Fredericks Marine Terminal in Red Hook. The construction will begin on Tuesday, February 21st. Piles will be driven from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and this portion of the project should take about 2 to 3 months to complete. Mapp said that there will be some noise as a result of the driving of the piles and apologized in advance for any disruption to the businesses and residents in the area. The design includes 88 new parking spaces in addition to the 100 existing spaces and improvements to the drainage and utilities. VIPA also increased the number of parking spaces for physically challenged drivers. Senate Vice President and Chairwoman of the Committee on Health, Hospitals, and Human Services, Senator Norita O'Reilly, has scheduled a public hearing that's on Friday, February 24th at 10 a.m. in the Earl B. Otley Legislative Hall, St. Thomas. The committee will hear from the Royal Schneider Regional Medical Center's executive team. Members will testify concerning the hospital's financial challenges and plan of action for the Charlotte Kimmelman Cancer Center, the hemodialysis unit, the psychiatric ward, and other related issues. There will be a separate committee hearing with the Department of Human Services to be announced at a later date. For the fourth year in a row, VINGN will observe Digital Learning Day, that's on Thursday, February 23rd, with a pop-up coach session for online business at the Turnbull Regional Library, PCC on St. Thomas. That's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. While on St. Croix, the VI Housing Authority will host the Absolute Beginners Computer Lab at the Ario Diaz Community Public Computer Center from 11 a.m. to noon. Digital Learning Day was first launched in 2012 by Alliance for Excellent Education as a way to give innovative educators an opportunity to shine and collaborate using not only technology but human-powered projects and activities that encourage the love of learning. For more information, you can contact Anita Davis, VINGN, 340-715-8581. The Department of Education is pleased to announce the launch of its Books in Barbershops project. That's a literacy initiative at barbershops, beauty salons, doctors, and dental offices across the territory. Baskets of books have been delivered to more than 80 businesses territory-wide in an effort to engage children in reading while they or their parents wait to be serviced. You can join the Department of Education for the St. Croix District launch event that will be held on Tuesday, February 21st, 10 a.m. at Royal Cuts in Lorraine Shopping Center. A launch event is planned for St. Thomas St. John District very soon in the near future. Count on two, we will keep you updated. University of the Virgin Islands, they're celebrating the university's Emerald Anniversary with a revolutionary philanthropic initiative, 55 for 55, the Great Alumni Challenge. It encourages UVI alumni to make history by achieving a 55% alumni giving rate in honor of the institution's 55th anniversary. UVI's Alumni Affairs Office was overjoyed when they received an anonymous $55,000 gift, according to Linda Smith, UVI's Director of Annual Giving and Alumni Affairs. The anonymous donor issued a surprise challenge with this gift. If UVI alumni donate $55,000 collectively, the donor will match the contribution, making the total value of the gift $110,000. As part of the challenge, alumni and friends who make a contribution in the amount of $55 or more will be automatically entered into the running for an all-expense-paid trip for two to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Well, Claudio Marco Elementary School will be presenting a centennial poetry celebration on Tuesday, February 21st at Cafe Marlin, which is the school's auditorium at 5:30 p.m., focusing on the Virgin Islands history and culture with the taste of the local cuisine. The cultural event is coordinated by the Claudio Marco's elite student leaders. Community members are invited to come out and appreciate Virgin Islands culture from the students' standpoint. Well, as UVI celebrates the 100th anniversary of the territory's transfer, International Capital and Management Company, ICMC, they're pleased to announce a special centennial edition of its Jazz in the Park music series featuring some of the Virgin Islands' most celebrated musicians. This free event is set for Saturday, February 25th, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. in St. Thomas's Roosevelt Park. This special expanded edition features 2 sound stages with multiple genres of music, an expanded vendors row to include a health and wellness expo, UVI Centennial Expo, cooking demonstrations, and an exciting cultural kids zone. Performing would be Lois Taylor and the Caribbean Project, Marsvin David and the Virgin Islands Rhythm Section from the island of St. Croix. The second sound stage, Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Night. Be sure to check that out coming up. Stick around, your News to AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
Well, we have a front that is going to be pushing across the Virgin Islands as we go into tonight, and that is going to bring some showers, maybe some heavier showers, and possibly even a rumble of thunder. You can see it here to the north, and that is going to be dropping through as we go into the nighttime hours. So for tonight, some heavy showers. There could be a rumble of thunder as well with a temperature of 72 degrees. And then tomorrow, there could be some brief showers around, still lingering in the morning. As we get into the afternoon hours, though, things looking pretty nice. A temperature of 83 degrees in St. John. We could see a couple of those brief morning showers around in St. Thomas as well, with a temperature of 83 degrees. And in St. Croix, same thing. We have 83 degrees, some brief showers around in the morning hours, but most of that activity should be over with then as we go into the afternoon. Our waves on the Atlantic side are 2 to 4 feet, and our winds will be out of the west at 10 to 15 knots. And then on the Caribbean side, 1 to 3 feet for our waves, and the winds are out of the west at 5 to 10 knots. Now, looking ahead at the remainder of your forecast, for Tuesday, as I mentioned, we have some of those brief showers around, especially in the morning. The afternoon looking pretty good, though, with a temperature of 83. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, things looking pretty good. We have some high pressure settles in. Now, there could be perhaps just a spotty shower around, but not really much activity at all. Things looking pretty quiet with some sunshine around for your Wednesday, and then on Thursday as well. Friday, as we go into the later part of the day, there's another system that could start to pull up some moisture from the south, and so we could see possibly a shower in places Friday, maybe a little bit better chance Friday night into Saturday that we could see a shower or two around in spots with temperatures averaging in the mid-80s. Sandy?
Thank you. Time for our news to weather picture there by Leland Cotto of the Ricardo Richards Elementary School, sharing some sunshine and clouds. Overall, great weather. Leland, I hope you had a chance to check out the Ag Fair. Send us your news to weather picture to the address on the screen. Be sure to include your name, age, school, and brief description of your drawing, and then tune in to see it right here on News 2. That is all for now. We'd like to thank you for joining us for all the latest. I'm Sandra Guman Singh. Have a wonderful evening.